Ooh, the magic glasses. Happy, happy, happy. So what are you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? Thank you, my friend.
Here's your change.
We'll trade.
Perfect.
And why don't you take one of these?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Splurging. Mm. There we go.
What do you mean?
So, today's a beautiful day. I just spent the day, at the medical model.
I bet it's awesome.
No, like it's like almost like small shit. No, not all. Like why did you bring up the? That was very popular. In my mind, I'm sure it's on the back, right? Yeah. It's not like just out there. It's not like toy. It's not like.
I have a collection.
And the buffalo was.
He's got one that I got left.
So, what you up to? There's two people there. Any comments? What day of the year do you like the best? Do you like Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter Bunny? What ceremony do you prescribe to? What I like to do when I'm helping out. Oh, let's see what you got to say. This is Jamie. Gratitude. Yep. Can I speak without my mouth full? Yes, I can do that. I can speak without my mouth. I thought it was, endearing. But anyway, I can speak without my mouth. I had a nice piece of quiche. They make a nice chili, but the chili doesn't, it was too chilled, right? Meaning I like a nice hot chili. So I'm going to take it home and have it for dinner. I'm heading back to the deep green, and I'm not going anywhere for at least a week or two. I'm not going to, no matter what emergency or anything, I ain't had it. You know, I'm tired of taking care of things. Well, I did it for as long as I did. Because of, I mean, I could only get about 3 hours of sleep, and that's not good. And but if I do this, you can't see me chewing. I can't see my mouth full. Anyway, the and then the last person to stay was a couple of nights ago. And the roads are, it's been sunny and not raining, etc. It's going to start raining again. Oh, relatively tomorrow. Friday's supposed to be sunny. But by Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be raining. And our road is totally messed up. So when it's rainy and it rains a lot, then the road is like fluid, and then it's not hard to rake it out, right? And two of my neighbors who destroyed the road this winter, I sent them an email and they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to help you out, Because I'm getting to a point where I really can't do that kind of work anymore. My legs really, I just spent the day in the hospital getting tested and x-rayed and all that fun stuff. And I talked to a lot of people. And they were all very much pleased by me being there, being a good patient that I am, and good mindful person to give them insights about this, that, and the other thing. But that was fun. And, there was nobody there, so I pretty much got in and out. I thought it was going to take me a whole day, and it only took me about an hour and a half, and I saw everybody. Right? So that was good. So gratitude is probably the greatest thing one can experience. When you can actually feel grateful for what's going on, right? And even if it's terrible, I mean, I used to do palliative care. People were dying, and it was quite interesting. A number of people who were dying of cancer basically found I was taking care of them. They were dying of cancer. The doctor said, "Well, you got about, I don't know, a couple of days to a month or two," and they lived, 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, a year, and then they got out of palliative care, right? But the most interesting thing was the people who didn't do that, right? Who didn't succumb, were the ones who said, getting cancer is probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I basically now appreciate every second of my life, and I feel so alive, right? So they, kept living because they felt so alive. They weren't just the Walking Dead. And that's what most people are, Walking Dead. They just, because humans can be so habitual. We get so stuck into their habit, right? So that is the key, is not to be habitual. And if you do get into a habit, and half the people who I gave readings, meaning everyone who worked on me or filled out paperwork or what have you, I basically gave them a reading. And at least half of those people were worrying all the freaking time. And I basically said, you know, your worrying is infringing on your life path, right? You're not doing you any good. All you're doing is worry, right? It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't even give perspective, right? So anyway, I gave them my little thing that I do. I wasn't having that much of a worry. I was more of a planner and strategic thinker. But sometimes, you know, when I was running a community housing project, and everybody was not everyone, but a good portion of everybody was, stuck in something. You know, had to deal with it, right? I came home one time and saw this building. It didn't smell right, so I kind of had the key to get in the front door. I went in the front door, went up the stairs, and I could see smoke coming out from under this door. I put my hand on the door, and it was hot. I kicked the door in. I mean, the building had been burnt like 20 different times, so it wasn't as structurally as most. The door was just there. It was pretty easy just to kick it in. Anyway, so because we got all these doors out of the dumpster, and not every one of them had a doorknob. Right? So anyway, so it's not much to kick the door in. When I kicked the door in, what I saw was someone had a kerosene space heater, right? And they had left it on. It was verboten in our fire safety rules. And so, and this is how woe these people are. They decided to push it underneath their dining room table that had a tablecloth, so no one would see it. Well, we basically heated up the table, and the tablecloth. When I went in, the tablecloth was on fire, and it was plastic, so it was kind of dripping onto the floor, and the floor was starting to burn. And so they had like 20 milk jugs full of kerosene, right? Which is another verboten. You're supposed to have a real only one 5-gallon thing of kerosene, and they had about 20 milk jugs full of kerosene. Anyway, so it's dripping. The fire is going up to the ceiling. I look over and I see this big blanket, and I put the blanket over the fire, and it kind of smothers it out. I go over to where the window is, and there's a big chair. Pick up the big chair and throw it through the window because it was starting to catch fire, and because of the dripping plastic that was drizzling down the floor to this chair, and it was starting to burn. And that's the thing, that the stinky, smelly plastic roof. And I threw that, picked that up, threw it through the window, and then picked up the blanket and the fiery tablecloth, threw that out the window into the back It was a lot with just garbage in it. No big deal. It was raining. But I normally wouldn't have come into the building. I normally wouldn't have, I would have been home. I was just went back to my place to get something in my building, which was across the street. And something just didn't know. Like I said, I had to key the front door, went in, went upstairs, and was looking on the third floor. Like I said, smoke was coming out. And the door was somewhat warm, and take the door in. Anyway, so when, the thing, flying stuff went out the window, people, right? So people came over. And somebody said, "How dare you break into that guy's house?" And they lived upstairs. I said, "Oh, so I should have just ignored it and let it burn your house out. It would have burned the whole building down, right? And you were asleep upstairs and you'd been dead. Well, still, you shouldn't have broken in. We should have had a meeting and had a consensus, Now, I was in charge. I was like the technical adjutant, all things safety, all things technical, all things building, all the above, right? And I would have tons of people going up, well, I want to do it this way. But you can't do it that way. I don't want to pay my electric bill. I feel the electric bill. But that electric bill, you will. So I had 500 people like that. We used to. Most of them were very happy I was doing that job, and were very happy with me. And but there was always what was known as a Stalinist obstructions, right? And so that's kind of what it is. You have to deal with what life gives you and not worry about it. But, there were loads of, some of these people who had been in and out of jail so much, they knew jail really well, so they would use this system to try and screw with me. And that's one reason why I became, when we brought the whole housing thing into the New York City Housing Authority, so they took care of everything. And then they made me be the one responsible individual, and so I had to join the New York City Housing Authority police force, to represent us, right? And I did. And so I was a policeman, but I was a conflict resolution. I never wore a gun, I got trained to do all that stuff, right? And they get my partner, they gave me this queen, this amazing person who was the first woman to ever get through the U.S. Army's Ranger School. And she was graduated #1 in her class, and she was such a badass. They made her. She was just in there, and they made her a master sergeant and made her one of the #1, instructors. Anyway, so she was my partner, and so we were like the epitome of the good cop, bad cop. I would walk in a Hawaiian shirt and flip flops, and usually had a 6-pack of beer, and I'd have my little thing around with my picture and my badge on it, but that was about as close as I got to, wearing the ornaments of the authority. And my authority was that I had been there for a year and a half, dealing with a housing project of 800 units, 2,800 people, and most of them were totally toasted. Cooper Union was the name of it. Not Cooper Union. What was it? Or something like that. It was very Dutch. It had a Dutch name. It was on 2nd Avenue. Anyway, so every day I woke up, every day I got through not dying. Every time I got shot and wasn't dead, it made me feel really, 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 thank you, Jesus, And I had been a sick kid, so every time, 4 or 5 times, I ended up in the hospital dead, and then woke up in the hospital, and I would be, thank you for I'm alive. You know, so I'm really good at being grateful for life. And, the dynamic of that is one of the major aspects of being a human being. If you can't be grateful, then you're not really a human being. You're just, a reptile. You are, cockroach. You are, a number of other entities. But hey, we're all our relations. And so it isn't my place to judge. Right? I can be not judgmental, but kind of have a perspective about it.
Very good talking to you. I know it's early morning in Princeton, so thanks for taking the time to spend 30 minutes with me today. Sure. I wanted to talk to you about many things, but today, January 20th, is the day of Trump's inauguration. So Trump is going to be the first convicted felon to be elected president of the United States of America. I wanted to ask you, what does his re-election say about the U.S., its political system, but also of the Democratic Party?
Well, this is something that I and others have been raising the alarm about for, at this point, a few decades. People like Noam Chomsky, the political philosopher Sheldon Wolin, Chalmers Johnson, Barbara Ehrenreich, Ralph Nader, and others, that the expanding social inequality, the seizure of power by corporations and the oligarchic class, which have deformed and destroyed democratic institutions, and I would include the Democratic Party in that, but also the media, academia, the Congress. Our electoral system is just a form of legalized bribery, the decimation of labor unions, the stacking of the courts, not just by Trump with these Christian fascists, but by all administrations with these corporatists who owe their loyalty to this ideology of neoliberalism. This was a long time coming. And Trump is not the disease, he's the symptom. He's what is vomited up out of the...
So that's like the blah, 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 blah. Right? Nothing. I've had it with the blah, blah, blah. Right? What matters is life, liberty, pursuit of love, What's happening? What's going on?
I'm standing next to her.
Or
I don't care if you're less, but yeah, whatever. We don't have to talk.
okay, classes. Okay, now I'm going to read what you just said. That's gratitude. Can you speak without your mouth full? Yes, okay. I've got nothing else to eat, so my mouth is empty. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, exactly. Blah, 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 blah is the self-professing prophecy. No one looks at history. No one looks at the time. But, all the great books, all the spiritual books, all the great teachers and teachings, and everything says basically, if you think with gratitude and love, co-creation, basically you can have whatever you want in your life. You can have it go any way you want it to go. Right? That's me right here. I am the poster boy of that. Right? I've done a ton of different things. I've had like 20 different lives. I've had about 18 different careers. They're all successful. I could have stuck on any one of them and like got the house, the home, the car, the kids. And instead of having 2.3 kids, I had 128 godchildren. And many, many, many people in my life that I was ecstatic to be with, right? Now, I'm kind of, being the Aquarian now. I am a Tootsie Pop rolled in bacon, deep fried with chocolate and sprinkles on it. That's me. So that means that I am kind of very introverted and extroverted at the same time. And most people really like me. A handful of people, that makes me anxious. I don't know. What can I do? I can't really help. Right? They project whatever that anxiety is on me, and it's their issue, not mine. Right? And I don't care. Right? That's one thing. A lot of people, they go like, you care about everyone, but you don't really care about anything. I care, that everyone's happy, safe, and doing their best. What I don't care about is any expected outcomes. And people get upset. You don't have an expected outcome. How can you have a life? If you're not ready at that finish, at the blocks and run to the finish. Maybe just kind of walking along, enjoying seeing everything you do. That's maybe okay. You don't have to be totally wound up, right? And I love, interacting with people. I love making them happy. And if they can't be happy with being happy, that makes them. It makes me so. I'm sorry. Not much I can do about it, kids. So that's life. So right now, I have friends who have left the country. Have gone to France. Have gone to, Spain. Who have gone to Italy. Who have gone to Mexico. Because they got a lot of money, they can do that, right? But there's still going to be a fish out of water, and those countries aren't. Europe is going to be there's a war happening right there. Right? We have two oceans between us. The only people that we're threatening is Mexico and Canada, our two best friends, right? And we're not going to have a war with those folks. We're going to, just like, Donnie makes this big blustery thing. the Mexican president says, "Okay, we'll put 10,000 army guys on the thing to keep the fentanyl out." Right now, the fentanyl is already dropping down. It's, something new is going to come, but right now that's dropping out. And the real issue of drugs has never been supplied; it's been the need of it. Why do so many people in America need to be on drugs, to be self-medicated? What is the problem? What's going on here? So, what do you think? I'm letting you cogitate. Talk amongst yourselves. Come up with some questions. I got the classes to read. Just checking some out here. Here we go. Huge winter storm is coming. It's winter. That's what happens.
Two big winter storms are coming to the United States over the next few days, and these are going to cause a ton of different problems, including the risk for ice accumulation that will lead to some big travel impacts. In addition to that, we are expecting heavy snowfall.
Okay, nothing bad. Again, I'm in this place that's right on it may snow, probably right, and so far we've had a better time with it than most.
Well, it's all about this show.
Okay.
I just saw your name
So the last show I did last night was cold-blooded, right? Because when humans get together in a pack, they do the most horrendous things. When they're cold-blooded, right? When they're one-on-one, when it's like one or two people, three people, it's kumbaya, right? And people seem, once they get into a crowd, they seem to be drawn to a strongman leader. I mean, just look at Mega, right? Really, the two morons who are the strongman leaders, and then all the political, flatworms, that are congressmen and senators. Really, that's who you want your leadership to be. Good luck with that. Arr.
Hi, little man. How's it going? Are your toes cold? Like that refused to wear. Well, my sister refused to wear clothes for so long. The parents started dressing her in their bathing suit, so she wasn't literally all the time. Oh, yeah. What did you smell? Oh, yeah. I know.
The baby, everyone's looking at the baby. Baby, baby. That's why we have babies. Kind of softens us up. Hey there, Chief.
I'm gonna come in and get this.
Yeah,
Santa.
yeah, take it all away. I had another good meal.
Yeah, I'll just sneak this out of the way. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have that chili for lunch myself.
The chili, though, it's really good chili. See, when chili is like mediocre, you can eat it no matter what temperature. But when it's like that, it has to be hot. So I'm gonna take it home and heat it up, and yeah. But very good chili. Everything about it, all the different elements were quite nice.
It is good, hon. And I like to have grilled cheese with it too. If I'm gonna indulge on nothing but meat and beans.
Yes. Well, I had the
I'll go all
quiche.
the
I had the
way.
quiche.
Yeah.
Right. But again, it was appropriately warm for a restaurant here, but not for me. It's like, you know what I'm
Does it need to
saying?
be hotter? Let me check the temperature of it. Make sure it's right.
Yeah, but it was, everything else about it was. Right.
I'll let you check.
But I still like. You should always have an acorn soup there.
A what?
Acorn soup.
Yeah.
Acorn and whatever else, but I mean
Yeah. I wonder why we don't.
that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean you got everything computerized. I bet you could look at.
You'd be surprised. We do not have things computerized as much as you would think.
What?
Started small, you know.
So when they give me my bill, they're not pushing what it is.
They're not pushing the soup in. It just says soup, and we have to type in soup.
Oh, okay.
We don't have our recipes computerized.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be said for all of that, right? Because we're getting a bit too computerized.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. I mean, I like the
I just went to the
balance that we
hospital,
have here.
It's like, I'm going to wear this. It's my,
Oh, you're in the club.
yes, I'm going to, right. And, I'm supposed to be dead, so they just make sure I'm
That you're alive.
yeah. And I used to do all those jobs, so when they were doing it, I said, maybe you should, I want this X-ray. And the lady who is like the boss comes out, she goes, do you need a job?
Yeah. I'm sure you get that
All the time. But the other side of the coin is, once I get in there, they then say, you're overqualified.
Yeah. Well,
As always, keep up the good work. Yep. Anyway. Anyway, so gratitude is the key to life, right? With gratitude comes grace. See, gratitude is what we feel to God's love, grace, forgiveness, and faith are given to us by love's co-creation. Right? So that's what it's about. So whenever you go on and whine and moan and blah, it's like number one sign that you have missed the boat, because your life is not about you. It's about the we in me, all of us, all our relations, right? And not just Homo sapiens sapiens, it's everybody else, every feathered, scaled. And so when people get all bent out of shape about, reptiles, there's this little boy over there, he's looking at the string of the blinds. He hasn't quite put it together. He thinks they're bells or something. He hasn't quite figured out that it raises the blinds or louvers the blinds. Anyway. So I love watching little ones figuring it out. Right? There are a lot of babies here today. There's 4 tables, and 3 tables have babies. So we are fulfilling the biological protocol. Right? So I was talking to a sweetie of mine, and we were talking about, because we're old enough not to worry about getting pregnant. And I said, doing that is just really should be saved for manufacturing babies. The rest is intimacy, And so that's why this sweetie likes me, because I'm all about the intimacy, right? I'm not about the act, right? This little one is looking at me like she's never seen anything like me before. She was like staring at me like, and then she went. Her brother's over there trying to figure out the world. She's just like, what is this place? Anyway, so 41 minutes and 44 seconds. Now what time is it? Well, I don't have to go anywhere for the next half hour. So I got another half hour to do with this, because I'm probably not going to do another show for God who knows, right? So go back and look at those past shows. Take notes. So when I do come online again, you can. I sort of show about blah blah blah. So I have over 2,000 shows, and they're all pretty as good as each one is as good as the next one. And if you like the last 20, and so you don't have to look at them all religiously, just kind of and go boop, and go boop, 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 boop. Then hit that one and then look at it, and if you don't like the first 3 seconds, go on to another one. I mean, that's when you got 2,000 shows to choose from. And I do have names to them, right? I don't have any categories or groups or anything like that, but they do have names that pretty much speak to what it is, So, so everything that's going on right now, really, it's no big deal. It's no worse than what it was when Carrot Head was president 4 years ago, and no worse than what there was virtually. If you were to take the last 10 presidents, that's Carrot Head, that's JoJo, that's the non-black man, the junior, the Billy, the senior, the Ray Gun, the Jimmy, the Nixon, the Jerry, right? So there's your 10, right? We would take them all and take their names out of it and look at what was going on in the world, and what bills were passed, and what motifs were, right? It would only be one that would stick out. Like, who is this guy? He is really, really liberal, really progressive, really like an FDR kind of Democrat. But no, he was a Richard Nixon Republican.
So what do you do with
This old lady talking to a young stud, quite cute.
Lastly, how long is it? A few hours or so? Okay.
Yeah, but he's doing, Monday did real well, but I'm not as good too. I mean, I think that's right.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about that later. And how some days you can do it on
So there's two of you there. So what do you want to talk about? You know, so gratitude is the subject matter. Grace, faith. These are gifts given to us by creation. We don't earn them. We don't manifest them. I mean, we kind of do, because again, you have to have this lifestyle of conscious intent of love's co-creation. You do that, you have this commitment and a covenant with love's co-creation, right? So today I went around and gave a bunch of readings, and there were, like I said, a number of people who were kind of anxious, and I basically told them that it's just a habit. You have to substitute the bad habit for the good habit. Gratitude is humble, later, kind, and enduring. Yep. Humility is a realization of your presence in the commitment to a conscious intent of love's co-creation, and realizing what the covenant of that is. Right? And the Bible in the Old and New Testament goes on and on and on about the covenant. And pretty much, see, that's what the Bible's good for. It's a nice little tuning fork. It's not a legal book. It's not to litigate the soul. Soul is immortal, right? Meaning you're going to have a lot of lives, right? And what dimension or what existence or any of the above, it's almost irrelevant. Boy, this little baby is just too much. It's like, look at that stuff going, what is that? She's looking at the chair her mother's sitting in. And she's like, and her mother's kind of rocking her back and forth. And the little girl, she's like, she can barely keep her head up. And so every day is my birthday. The day that's on my driver's license is the celebration of my mother, because she did the heavy lifting. So that's what it's about. Gratitude is humble, and so you have that hand frame. So humble is less than, kind, and enduring. Maybe the equal sign might be better. Humility equals kind and enduring. Enduring kindness, maybe. Anyway, so the real question is, there are these two big colleges around, and I talk to a lot of the students, and I try to get them involved in stuff. And really, I've offered them to help them start a thing called the Freely Inquiring Society, right? Freely meaning open, inquiring to you know, move forward to understand, to go past whatever limitations you have. That's inquiring, and really inquiring society, community, right? So you can call it almost anything you want to call it, right? So, so how old is that baby?
She's 3
Yeah.
months.
She's so cute. I love you were rocking her away, right? I was watching her, and she was like enthralled with the chair. She was like, "What is that? What? It's moving. Is it a dog? Is
Yeah.
how's he doing with his sister?
He likes it a lot. Yeah.
He's gonna be a good big brother, right? I really like him. He was looking at the pull chains of the thing, and I could see in his eyes he didn't realize anything about what it was. He thought it was something else, like a bell or a this or a that, and he was just like, he's like a deep thinker, that boy, right? How old is he? 2?
He's 2. And she's 3. Yeah. So she's just another one.
And then I have another younger sister and
Yes.
another. Yeah.
So, what have you learned from your children? You know what's a good lesson? Slow down.
Yeah.
If you put your life on their time cycle, you'll be a lot better. Try to put them on yours. I try to put them on your time cycle. Can't really fight the kids.
Me too.
Hey, I can watch people all day long. Right? It's, that was a joke. Right. Okay, good. But remember, no judgment, just a query. It was a query, So, but I like the ampersand, greater and larger and less than. That's all. So it's all what it is, There is no right or wrong answer. Now that's really. I was talking to this person who is a Cancer, Virgo, Aries, and that poor person was like all over the universe. So, what are you guys going to do in your own little community? You're going to have a book club, have potluck every Friday to talk about things. What's the conversation like around your communities? What are your communities thinking? Because most people that I talk to are, they fall into a couple of categories. One is that they're stuck in their silo, so they're either red or blue. That's the two major silos. Then the other is their heads in the sand. They don't want to know anything. They don't want to talk about anything. So maybe, they don't even want to talk about a book or any, just, whatever the most recent thing that bothered me. My coffee, my chili didn't show up hot enough, But, I didn't complain. I just said, this is really good chili. I'm going to take it home and heat it up and eat little bits of it, and it'll last me a week. And that's how I eat, So that big bowl of chili, that was $4, which is not bad. Will last me, 8 days, so that's like 50 cents a day, Quality over quantity. Because it was sloppy Joe chili, I could have sucked it down and that would have been fine. But this was the real deal good stuff. Anyway, so we're down to one person. We were up to about 5 or 6, and then we slipped down to 1. So maybe I'm going to go. It's been 55 minutes and 28 seconds. So take care. Palladium, Moon, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, boy, planets are really having a fun time in our solar system. That's why things are so interesting. The planets haven't been this way ever, or not for a long time. So take advantage. Be aware. I love you guys.